Emily Neiswanger, a registered dietitian. I'm welcomed here today by Ashley Oswald, a fellow dietitian, a gut health expert. And today we're in my kitchen, and she is going to teach me and you guys how to make kvass, so fermented beets. Kind of sounds weird. I told her I don't even really like beets, but she said I have to try this because it's good for my health. And so I love to cook and get my hands dirty, and so I will try anything. And so here we are. So Ashley, can you tell us a little bit more about kvass and why you recommended making this right now?
Yeah, totally. So one of the reasons I wanted to show you guys how to make this is because it's one of the easiest foods to ferment. We just made a video on fermenting carrots and ginger, and that was easy, but this is even easier, you guys. And the reason we wanted to come together and make this is because beets have a nutrient in it called arginine. Arginine helps to create nitric oxide in the body, and that's really great for blood vessel health, for decreasing blood pressure, and just for preventing atherosclerosis, like this plaque buildup in the vessels. So we know we're in COVID season right now with this coronavirus, and we know some of the risk factors are high blood pressure and metabolic issues. So whatever we can do to help decrease those risk factors is going to be a really smart thing as we get through this.
Absolutely. And I talk to my followers all the time about lowering inflammation in the body. And we know that like heart disease and, hypertension, all of that is related to inflammation, which beets rich in antioxidants help to lower inflammation in the body naturally. So that's how we want to do it. We want to try to prevent high blood pressure, and then if we can treat it in a more natural way and get it under control, how great is that? So let me show you guys what I have in front of me here that Ashley instructed I start with. So I have a couple beets. This one's still in half here, and I just roughly washed them. I chopped off the ends, and then I've just been cutting them into like little tiny pieces here. And right, Ash, you said just like less than an inch piece or something like that, like roughly chopped.
Yeah, that's perfect. So this beet kvass is really like this fermented beet juice. And so a way that you can think of cutting these beets up is that the more surface that's exposed, the more when it's submerged in the water, those nutrients are going to get pulled out into the water, and that's going to create that fermented juice that's going to be the end product.
Actually smells really good for someone who doesn't like beets. Okay, now what do I want to do?
So now, do you have your mason jar?
I do. This is a wide mouth mason jar. I use these for everything under the sun in my house. So I have dozens of these. Yep. So mason jar, check.
Love it. So you guys, you're going to be blown away by how easy this is. Literally, Emily, just put 2 teaspoons of salt in the mason jar.
Okay.
And it's an art, you guys. As you can see, Emily's kind of roughly putting in 2 teaspoons. That's fine. And then add the beets on top of that. Fill it with water. Put the cover on.
Okay. Oh, so I want to actually spin. It's okay. Salt, beets, water.
Yep.
Okay. And I actually want to put my mason jar cover on top of this.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And then I'll tell you kind of what you'll want to do in the next few days with it.
Okay. Looks like this is about 4 beets. Maybe I picked up some small ones. I really, to be honest, didn't know which ones to pick. Okay.
No,
so
perfect. So now fill it with water.
Okay, and then does it matter what kind of water? Does it need to be filtered? Does chlorine affect this? The same thing for the food?
Sander Katz, who's kind of known as the father of fermenting foods, he has this big old The Art of Fermentation book here. He says any water is going to be fine, so whatever you guys have at home. But if you do have access to non-chlorinated water, like for example, I have this Aquasana filter that's just hooked up to my faucet, so it's filtering out all the chlorine from the water I drink every day, then use the water coming out of your filter. But if you don't have access to non-chlorinated water, then just use whatever you're used to drinking.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Thank you.
So now
Good.
Looking good, beautiful, nice and red. So put the cover on.
Okay, I don't have a cover in front of me.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So all Emily's going to do is she's going to then put the mason jar cover on and mix it so that the salt kind of gets mixed into the water.
okay.
And then you just let it sit. So you let it sit and ferment. Open the cap every day just to just to burp it is what it's like. The fermentation is going to produce gases and you want to let those gases out. Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
So pretty. And you guys can think of like that red color as, it's a red like blood vessel. So this is going to help your blood vessel health.
Okay, and then you said, where does this go next and for how long?
So just let it sit at room temperature for like most other fermented foods for at least a few days and just start smelling it. And it's going to start smelling like this vinegary fermented juice. And then you can start tasting it. And once it gets to the taste that you enjoy, then just put it in your fridge, which is going to really, really slow down the fermentation process. And then you
Okay.
can just drink some every day until it's gone.
To leave the beet pieces in here or drain or strain them out?
So you'll want to strain them out so that you can have like a little half cup of juice.
Oh, and then how much a day? Just a sip?
You can do just a sip and about a tablespoon, you're going to get trillions of bacteria. But if you wanted to drink like a half cup of juice in the morning, that's a really great way to do it too.
And is there any, what if I'm concerned about my salt intake for my heart? Is the salt being taken up by the beets, and then when I'm pouring them out, I don't have to worry about it being like a high sodium drink, or is the benefits of the juice so much that we don't have to worry about that salt either?
That's a really great question. So, something that's interesting is when people eat a lot of real whole foods and not as many processed foods, they tend to not have an issue with over consuming salt. So, then having this in your daily eating, it's really not a big deal and probably beneficial because when I used to work with kids doing homemade blended formulas for tube feeding, that was the number one thing that they kept being low in because of just eating a lot of real whole foods. So I think this would be a plus.
Definitely. I do tell people in my meal planning group that since we are cooking mostly from scratch, or basically 100% from scratch, you need to salt your foods because you're not getting on all that salt from processed foods that you were before, maybe at fast food or even restaurants. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you're so right. That's so good to know. Okay.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's not that much salt either, especially since you're just having a little bit of it every day. Sandra Kotze does talk about how some people will ferment without salt,
Oh,
but usually it's not an amount that's concerning.
okay. Cool, Ashley. I'm so excited to try this. The color looks amazing. It's super pretty, and I'm glad you got me to try something new because I wasn't a beet fan before, but maybe I'll really like them fermented. So I'll give feedback on what I think about it. Anything else people should know about kvass
Well,
and just
say in case you don't like it, at least you have your carrots and ginger backup.
right.
So if you guys don't like beets either, check out our other video.
Oh yes, I cannot wait to have those. Awesome. Okay, so Ashley, how can people learn more about you and all
So
the?
we work with people helping people improve their gut health, IBS, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, all that, those bothersome symptoms. So you can schedule a free meet and greet call with our clinic or just come follow and hang out with us on Instagram. We have some free resources at the link in my Instagram bio. So you can go check that out. And then Emily has a really awesome meal planning group that she's facilitating right now and ongoing. So Emily, can you tell people how to connect with you?
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram, but I do have a website, anywherenutrition.com. You can see previews of my 12-week meal plan. I'm letting people join in halfway to do a shortened 6-week version of it right now, which I've never done before. But yeah, that's what I'm passionate about, is teaching people how to cook at home, because we know that health starts with home cooked meals and meals with your family or your loved one. And that's what I'm all about. So thank you so much for showing me how to to make something new that I can share with my followers.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ash.
absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.